Do you want to become a permanent part of the channel? Check out the Alliteration Gaming Patreon. Here you'll find different tiers that I'll let you get involved in my videos, as well as provide you with a shout out, exclusive Discord access, and the ability to see my content early and ad-free. Now if you're new here, you're gonna need an account on the UGN site. This will let you sign up for events, locate stores near you, and of course accrue those redemption points to use in the loyalty shop. You can even snag yourself 50 bonus points right now if you let me refer you. Until August 30th, when you're signing up, just click on Content Creator and type my channel name in the box. Regardless of how you do it though, thanks for being part of the Alliteration Nation. Now, let's get on to the video. Good evening, my dear viewers, and welcome to another Alliteration Gaming video. My name's Levi, and the mother of all information bombs has just descended upon us, seemingly literally out of nowhere. It is about 2 a.m. Where I am right now, and holy cow, guys, we got so much to talk about. Now, obviously, there's a lot of exciting things going on just on the front page of the new website here, but take it easy, guys. We're gonna go one by one throughout the articles and learn everything there is to learn about the next chapter of Universus. By the time you're finished with this video, you will have all of that knowledge in you one way or another. And we're gonna kind of start with their main article here, which is the future of Universus. Now you're gonna see they got a little video here that's kind of like Paul and Luhan just talking about like what's inspiring these changes and the rebrand and all that jazz. I'm not gonna play the video on here because I think this is gonna be a lengthy video in its own right. There's a lot of stuff to cover, but you guys can go from the link or just go to the Universus channel and watch it from there. But essentially, the big thing that they're really pushing in this whole article is that they want to define this new era themselves, and that's coming in with the new logo and the new name of the company, UVS Games. Jasco Games is no more. We are UVS Games now, and I think that makes a ton of total sense. Not only are we about to clearly enter like a new era here, Paul and Luhan really want to define this era for themselves and their vision of the game, right? Jason Haransky, the previous owner of Jasco, right? Jasco, it's in the name, Jason Company, Jasco, right? It makes sense that they want to differentiate themselves from that, and redefining the company kind of lets them do that. But really the big piece of information is going to come right here in this bolded out pair of sentences here. The first additions to the Universus catalog under the new UVS Games look and feel will be the Challenger Series, Trigun Stampede, and Cowboy Bebop, as well as My Hero Academia Jet Burn. So we're going to be bringing in the new era here is mostly talking about the new licenses coming in. We're finally getting some new franchises back into our game, and we're going to be starting with Trigun Stampede and Cowboy Bebop. I love this. This is super on brand. And also it notes Challenger Series. This is going to be a whole new product, which we will learn more about very shortly. The rest of this article is them just kind of talking about Universus as a whole, checking out the rebranding, and then looking at our new card backs. I will say, I'm not blown away by this new card back. I don't hate it by any means, but I feel like it looks a little basic, I should say. I don't know. I can't quite put my finger on it, but it just doesn't really, it doesn't get me super duper excited. However, I do really enjoy that it's like the blend of the Universus blue and the UFS old orange. I think that's super cool. I think the design is just a little basic. That being said though, guys, the front of the card is what we're going to talk about more in this video, because as you can see, we got an article written by Hitch here about the new card frame. We're going to be checking that one out shortly, but we got a couple more things to go through before. Next up, we have a Jet Burn article as well to go through, written by Bill Stark, which is going to detail a lot of new stuff, given that this is going to be the first product releasing under UVS and under the new layout and the new framework and all that. Lastly, get ready for new challengers. This is the important stuff right here, guys. There are so many franchises and characters joining Universus in the near future. We needed to create a new type of product to handle them all. That's where these Challenger Series come in. A Challenger Series product is going to be a pre-constructed deck with 2 character cards in it so that you can play it 2 different ways, and a collector's booster, which is going to be 6 cards inside of a pack, and they're all foil premium alt art versions of cards inside the pre-constructed deck. And this product is going to be where Cowboy Bebop and Trigun come in. And so if we go to the product page here, we can immediately see they have Bebop and Trigun both loaded up. And then if you click on them, this is what you get essentially. And so what we're looking at here is 1 ready to play constructed deck, 2 characters inside it, and then the collector's booster with the alt arts of the cards inside the deck. They're going to be random, so getting these is going to be pretty tough, given that you only get 1 booster, 6 random cards per deck. The release date on both of these is to be dated. Interestingly enough, the Bebop article mentions that Bebop is only in North, Central, and South America, and it's to be dated for other regions, but Trigun doesn't say that. I wonder if maybe there's like a licensing issue with bringing Bebop to the other countries. That being said, let's now go to the Challenger article and learn a little bit more about what these decks are going to be like. And so essentially, this article is just explaining that, like, hey, our recent Clash decks have been super amazing. People love Overhaul and Lemillion. Those are some fan favorites. They're selling like hotcakes, sold out in many areas. People love the pre-constructed decks. Makes sense. It's the best way to get someone in the game. Of course we love them. But the success of the Clash decks was a double-edged sword. Longtime players enjoy the product because they can open it up and they know how to upgrade it, right? We know how to take our cards, we veterans, we know how to take our cards in the starter deck and then put them in other decks, or take the starter deck and upgrade itself. Newer players don't quite know that. So that's where the Challenger decks are going to be coming in. This is going to be a pre-constructed deck ready for play in events. So this is going to be like a much more competitively focused, full out-the-box type of product. We've seen this in a lot of other card games lately. You know, you have like your basic $20 starter decks, then you have like your $50, $60 like, you know, collector starter sets, and they're like a much more competitive ready deck. They usually have some more bling in them. We kind of get that in the collector booster pack that's going to have the 6 alt art cards, and they really hype them up here with a foil treatment, alternate art, and in some cases entirely different flavor text to help deepen the story being told through the cards. We're getting flavor text. Holy cow, that's so cool. Then the last bit here is very important, I think. Because the Challenger series is a self-contained experience, it lets us do something awesome. Expand the amount of worlds we visit within the card game, featuring worlds separate from the universe in which our main boosters are set. So this tells me that as they go to bring more IPs in, they're looking to go real widespread for it. We're not going to give Bebop or Trigun a whole booster, but they're going to be getting this Challenger deck that's like super starter deck, and it sounds like we're going to be giving a lot of franchises these super starter deck, this Challenger treatment here. Now guys, let's talk about this new card frame, because this is the real eye-catching one. This one is going to be the most omnipresent. They want to usher in kind of this new era of the game with their own redesign of the layout as well. Universus cards, guys, they got so much information on them. They literally note everything out here, and in categories, there's 21 pieces of information on a Universus card. Now, all of them are not super relevant, but there's a lot to go through, and the main idea of this redesign was to make the cards more visually newer friendly, and also to show off the art. And we can see that in their first, they're basically their first run here, right? When it comes to the redesign, we got rid of these rocks on the top and bottom. These black splotches are gone. The attack word and the little logo symbol here with the swords is gone. There's nothing behind the symbols now, and they're actually down here. They removed a lot of the clutter on the cards in order to want to show much more of the art, and then they took a bunch of stuff up here and slid it down. The title of the card, the name, is down here. We moved the symbols from the left here all the way down here, so that way we could slide the text over and then bring the stats down here as well, resulting in we even shrunk the block logo too, just showing off way more of the art here. So then we kind of enter version 2 here. As you can see, they upped the size of the symbols quite a bit, and then they really cleaned up like the wording down here, made the fonts a lot smaller and a lot more fine, and then also brought the keywords at the very bottom. But then the coloring is what really comes in here. They threw like the orange all over the text box here, so it's kind of a lot easier now to actually make out the card type itself. It also actually says it down here, but it's a very small. So the orange coloring here is really what's going to key you in that this is the card that you beat your rival up with. And so with those 2 points out the way, now we're going to focus on rarity. And so if you look right here, we have awesomely a new HAWKS card spoiled here, which is very sick. But immediately you'll notice a little bit difference here between a common and an uncommon. Commons now have like this flat gray box, and then uncommons have this really cool like dotted pattern behind them. And so the point here is they just really wanted to start differentiating between every rarity, like at first glance, make it very easy. This is clearly a common with this backing. This is an uncommon with this backing. Now we're going to move into rares and ultra rares, and we get another cool little card spoiler here from the high-end Nomu. Now for Dangerous Hybrid down here, it does say common, but I think this is meant to be a rare because they're talking about rares and ultra rares in this little paragraph here. And so now basically rares and ultra rares are just always going to be full art like this. Rares aren't going to use anime screen caps anymore. Rares from here on out are going to be commissioned art so that they can always be full art, and then ultra rares are also going to be full art, but with kind of this shinier silver border around them. And so you might be asking yourself, what's happening to XRs? Because XRs were always the ones going like full art and stuff like that. So now by the looks of it, when it comes to the XRs here for every single rarity, the XRs are just going to remove the frame. So when you're looking at like the rare here, this black frame, it'll be gone. When on the XR you are, rather than the foil frame with the silver here, you're just gonna get more art on the frame. And then same thing, right? These two here, we're gonna remove like this black frame here. I don't know how it's gonna work on the entire card, but the text box just continues. But basically, XRs just mean the frame is going away. So honestly, this makes XRs way more undesirable in my opinion. Like I think I don't know, maybe I have to see them in person, they'll look way better. But I think this gives XRs like a very minute difference. Which is, I mean, that's okay. Like our actual base rarity cards look way better now, so I can't complain too horribly much. But I think that we're gonna see a much smaller demand for XRs. They don't really have a picture example though, so maybe they look way better and I just don't know yet. That's just kind of like my immediate concern there. Now next up, we're gonna talk about the resource symbols, because you've kind of seen them all across down here throughout these example pictures. These symbols all look very, very, very different than what we're used to, and so they have the new chart right here. And so basically their explanation here is that for the symbol redesign, they wanted to make them a lot easier to figure out at first glance. They're a lot more streamlined now. These all look really similar to each other as far as like the shapes and the blocking and the coloring and the line work, because now on the actual cards, they're so much smaller, and they wanted to make it easy to find the symbols on the cards by making them more distinctive. Honestly, this is where I have to get a little bummed. I'm not a big fan of these new symbols. I think they look really, really generic and really, really bland. I think taking the color away from so many of them, like the all symbol and the life symbol, just kind of don't make them stand out as much. Good being a star, I don't mind too terribly much, but I don't know, these all just look a lot more generic to me, and I actually feel like I'm gonna have a much harder time getting new players to recognize them instantly with these designs. And what actually kind of makes me a little bit bummed here is that if we go in all of these prototype cards that they're showing us, the new symbols on these are actually completely different. Like if you look at Blue Flame Spiral, this chaos symbol here is like red and black and like super duper intense looking. Then if you go to the actual new chaos symbol, it's just a flat pink with like a much more basic shape. You know, if you look at the life symbol on these example cards, you know, it's like this yellow and black like sprouting flower, whereas this life symbol is just like very, they're just not they're not exciting. They don't leap out to me, and it almost feels like these redesigns kind of go again. The all symbols are really just this super basic gear now, rather than like this bright red and maroon that it was before. I don't know, I think these symbol redesigns kind of have the opposite effect, but maybe Jasco knows how to trick my eyes better than I do. It's weird because some of them end up a lot more colorful, like Void, and like Void has this deep purple in here now, which I don't mind. Air is like has like a strong blue, but then you've like totally ripped the color from guys like All in Order. So I don't know, I'm very, very mixed on these, but maybe they'll settle with me after some time. And so as we get to the end of this article, there's one more thing to look at, and that's the actual first reveal of HAWKS. So we're going to super zoom in on this guy right here. HAWKS is a 627 with the evil, good, and order symbols is what we can make out there. And he's also, interestingly enough, got two traits here, right? He's got pro, hero, and villain. So our character cards have traits now. I can only imagine that this is going to be linked to card text, right? There will be like villain response only, right? Pro hero enhance only, stuff like that. And given that HAWKS, you know, plays both sides for a big part of the series, he gets to use both of those sets of abilities. So like, don't ignore these traits down here. They could be a lot more important than what we see at first glance. We also see the set 5 logo as well, which is a little HAWKS feather. Love it. So HAWKS says at the start of your combat phase, you get to grab 2 HAWKS feathers, which are this 1 diff attack right here, and put them into your hand. So once you find 2 of these in rotation, you're an 8-hander, which is super duper sick. He's got a once per turn, make an attack high, and then you may swap its speed and damage. So you can change your rival's attacks to high to make them easier to block for you. You can overload your HAWKS decks with high blocks, and then you also get to, you know, mess them up offensively. And then also we get to spooky our own moves or our rivals' moves. This is a really powerful enhance here. And then lastly, he's got a once per enhanced step response that when an attack's speed is modified, it can get +1 or -1 speed. So between the swap here on your own enhance and other abilities, you're going to get a lot of free speed throwing around. Solid character overall, but to really judge him, we have to look at the HAWKS feathers. HAWKS feathers are a 1 difficulty, 1 mid for 1 attack that say if they get removed, they go to the bottom of your deck instead. So your rival can't like permanently remove your feathers because you need them for your character to function. Makes total sense. It has an in-hand enhance that you can just chuck this into your card pool. Give an attack +2 or -3 speed. +3 with HAWKS, right? Because you're modifying the speed. Out of nowhere, that's really strong. You don't have to check for anything. You just put it into the card pool. On these symbols, that can be a lot of surprise speed out of nowhere, which is very strong. And then if you're playing it as an attack itself, HAWKS says that it gets to get +2 damage. So it's a 1 mid for 3, which is super fine for a 1 diff attack. HAWKS is going to be really good at manipulating his own and his rival attacks, and like when it's time to just like get that last chip damage in, we have literally a 1 difficulty attack to play for 3 damage, which is like really impactful. I think this is going to be a super strong character. We also don't even know what we might be able to unlock from this pro hero and villain double trait here. I cannot wait to see abilities that are going to reference this. Next item on our agenda, guys, is Gen Con. So these are our Gen Con promos. They've been teasing the art on these on the last few Wednesday webcam weeklies and the streams, but now it's finally time to see what they are. And guys, they got really weird with it. We've got a Midoriya and Bakugo 1 as these guys for our character cards, but then Ochako is 0 gravity capture, sure. Ida is class 1A president, but then these last 2 boys here got real weird with it. Cool student, a Tokoyami card, but with Todoroki on it, and then Snack Time, a Sato card, but with Kirishima on it. So they really throw us for a loop there. They got us on the mix-up there, and we can see the new layout on these as well, which is, it makes sense obviously now why they've been hiding what the cards are, because they didn't want to show us the new layout yet. And what's also interesting, right, is that we can see the traits coming in just a little bit. Interesting enough, Midoriya 1 has no traits, but we now have Bakugo 1 with 2 different traits here in both 1A and Student. So this is really interesting that Midoriya doesn't have 1A and Student as well as his character cards. Maybe he'll actually have it on the physical one, who knows? But this looks to say that, are we going to get a reprint of every character card in the game, but with their traits now? Because it makes sense, right? We have to go and add all those traits to the old characters, or they just don't get to use the new cards, maybe? Tough to say. I wonder, man, if we see a functional errata for every character card to give them certain traits, that's going to be insane. The traits being on the older character card is definitely the most interesting thing about this. Otherwise, the card choices are okay. Like this is probably the worst Midoriya and Bakugo you could have picked as far as like playability. I don't know, Bakugo 1 I guess is pretty okay, but man, Midoriya 1 pales in comparison to 2, 3, and 4. I really would have loved for this to be like 2. Capture is okay. They are kind of run out of Ochako cards. 1A President, this card is never played. Not a big fan of this pick. Cool Student is like okay. I like that card, but I've also like never met another human who likes that card. Snack Time though, banger pick. Banger pick. Snack Time, Loki, the only one of these 6 that truly matters. From there on out, guys, they also have playmats. So basically the card arts themselves on a lineup, and you get to get them in different colors. The pink one, this pink one goes so hard. I like these a lot. And as far as how to get these, participate in various activities to earn each promo card. And then it sounds like the playmats are probably just something that you have to buy straight up. And then past that, guys, we got these bad boys right here. Holy cow. The Trigun Stampede mat with Vash and the Bebop mat with Spike. And it says that both of the playmat designs will be given to each regional licensed exam participant at Gen Con. This is so huge. So we're getting 3 mats just for playing at Gen Con. Insane. Nuts. And these look amazing. Holy cow. I love these. These look so sick. I'm very excited. If they don't hook me up with these for casting as well, I'm going to be the saddest Levi imaginable. Last but not least, guys, our final article is going to be a little bit of sneak peek on Jetburn. Now, we already got to see HAWKS and his HAWKS feathers. I'm so mad that they're called HAWKS feathers and not fierce wings. I think that's, I'm actually ruined over that. I will never be able to explain how ruined I am over that to you guys. But we've already seen HAWKS and the HAWKS feathers. From here on out, though, we've got some interesting information. Set 6 Jetburn is going to be coming in with alternate art characters. I love that. These cards appear approximately 1 in every 18 packs and will feature alternate art designs for characters from Jetburn and previous MHA sets. So remember when I was talking about Bakugo 1, the Gen Con promo, having the traits? I think that this is what they're going to start doing, guys. They're going to functionally errata every character to have the traits, and then slowly every set they're going to have a ton of character alt arts of the older characters that have the updated layout and of course the traits that they're supposed to have. Past that, they're going to talk about a little about pre-releases, and the big thing here is that now instead of a mechanically unique pre-release card like Mr. Compress or Class Lineup or Bright Future, instead every pre-release kit is going to have an extra rare character card. So you get an XR character or an alternate art card. Now, I don't know if the alt art is just characters. They haven't been 100% clear about that, but either way, this is super duper sick. This makes me want to hit up pre-releases even more. The unique pre-release promos are always so hit or miss when it comes to, like, you know, do I need them, do I not need them, especially when they're set locked like Bright Future or Class lineup. You know, it's just like they're very, very, very swing or miss. But an XR character or an alt art, all day, every day, love this change. And of course, if, you know, they talk about the feel bad here of not being able to get your mechanically unique card, I'm really glad that we're being very, very open and public now about the feel badness of mechanically unique promos. If this means that we're leaning more and more towards less mechanically unique promos as the game goes on, I will be overjoyed if that's the mindset that these guys are entering. As far as things sticking around, the character card in every pack is sticking around. In a similar vein, the set's very designed for sealed play. The 6 secret rares are staying. There's no first edition unlimited split, and the chrome rares are coming back and are also going to be character cards once again. Big. That was the only complaint about chrome rares in Undaunted Raid. Myself and a lot of other people I know did not like that they were attacks. And then the event is just going, yeah, by the way, guys, we did indeed reveal HAWKS. And that technically this is going to be the start of preview season. We've kicked off previews today, and so check back regularly for more announcements and more jet burn cards coming soon. Holy cow, guys. Literally so much. HAWKS is here and he's super sick. The new card layout it's gonna take some getting used to. The layout itself, I feel like I need to see cards in person more, because honestly I don't think these pictures do it justice. If you look at like the art on these cards, they look really like faded compared to their actual versions. You know what I'm saying? Like the colors are not nearly as vibrant. These pictures almost look like washed out to an extent. So I think I'm gonna wait to see cards on hand to really judge the layout. The symbols though, I really don't like the new symbols. I'm not a fan of the new symbols at all. I really like the outdated new symbol designs that they have on all these preview cards. I really wish they'd have actually kind of stuck with some of those. I think they look really dope. But I digress. We have the new card layout. We have HAWKS. We have Jet Burn news. Previews are starting soon. Trigun and Bebop are coming, new like super starter deck products. This was just a massive drop of news. There was so much to cover, and if you made it all the way to the end of this video and sat through it all with me, thank you. I super duper appreciate it, man. That being said, I'm really excited to see where this next chapter, right, is going to take us. I hope to see much more of Jet Burn very soon. There's so many questions that I cannot wait to get more information on. I imagine with Gen Con right around the horizon, they're going to be doing a ton of PR and showing off a ton more. So there's really just a lot to look forward to right now in the coming days. And of course, anything crazy that happens, we're going to be on top of. So if you want more news, if you want more gameplay, if you want more deck builds and all that beautiful stuff that we do on the channel, hit the subscribe button for all of my videos to be shoved into your news feed. That being said, guys, this video has gone long enough. Thanks again for watching, and I hope I can see you in the next one.